Want to say peace and blessings to everyone. Hope all is well with you guys. Want to say peace and blessings to you guys. Hope all is well with you guys. I know a lot of the talk has been about the slap. The some are calling it the slap gate. Some are referring to it as being the slap that was heard around the world. But family, there's a slap that's should be heard around the world, but we're not hearing it. Let me say that again. There's a slap, right, that should be heard around the world, especially among our people, but we're not hearing it. Let me say that one more time. There's a slap that is actually happening right now, but our people are not hearing it. We're not getting it. If I had to put a title to this video, out of the frying pan and into the fire. Out of the frying pan into the fire. If I had to put a name, a title on this video, out of the frying pan and into the fire. The talk right now is a black man slapping another black man for insulting his wife. And I don't like to use the term black, but for the sake of this discussion, I will. That's the talk. That's the talk. That is what is being deemed as the slap that's heard around the world. But while that is going on, the slap that we're not talking about is our brothers and sisters. You know those students that made videos crying out for help over in Ukraine? Crying for help in Ukraine because they were subjected to racism. They were told to get off the trains so that way the white Ukrainians, they can get away. Many of those brothers and sisters were shot at. Many of them disappeared. I'm going to upload a video to you guys when I get home. So now I'm watching a video, right, yesterday, and I see some of those same brothers and sisters that was asking for help. Guess what? They are no longer in Ukraine. But as soon as they cross the borders into Poland, now here it is, they get asked to sign papers, not asked, but forced to sign papers that's written in Polish. They're being forced to sign documents that's in Polish. Then from there, they are taken into a detention center. And we could just call it what it is, a concentration camp. So many of those, our brothers and sisters that was crying for help, they're not back in Africa. They're not back in their home country. They are now sitting in a concentration camp in Poland. They're sitting in the concentration camp in Poland with conditions, very bad conditions, fearing for their life. So they jump out of the frying pan and into the fire. That's the slap we're not talking about. That's the slap we're not talking about. And even before this whole situation with Will Smith, Chris Rock, as far as the incident, not many of our brothers and sisters are talking about what's happening to our people over there in the Ukraine. So the non-Ukrainians, because they are Ukrainians there, but those that went over to Poland are not being held at detention centers like our brothers and sisters are being held. They are shipped elsewhere. Matter of fact, some of them are coming here to this country. 100,000 of them. But our brothers and sisters are in detention centers, concentration camps in Poland. We got a problem here. Something is wrong with this picture. How come we're not talking about it? How come we stop talking about it? For some. There's a lot of things that's going on, family. You saw the video I did on, Mason, Tennessee. How they are trying to, basically in a nutshell, take the same approach that they did to our ancestors who were sharecroppers, trying to literally take control of that city. That's predominantly our people that are there, because Ford is building a plant in that vicinity. So all the jobs and the monies and the property value that's going to boost, that's really going to help lift up the economics in that community. Now they want to muscle them out. Now they're trying to do all kinds of things, dirty-handed things to undermine what's going on there. Comptroller want to now handle the finances, but the debt was caused by Caucasians. And the person got convicted of it. But yet they're trying to make the people pay for the debts and the monies that this Caucasian stole. So family, we see the same situation. A similar situation. Now, when we get into concentration camps, when we get into detention centers, when we deal with Tulsa, Oklahoma, right, the bombings there, thousands of our brothers and sisters were held into a gym, a gymnasium, a detention center. When we look at some of the other communities, same thing, same process. We were held in detention centers. When you understand the devil's punch bowl, right? That was a concentration camp where at least, even though the low number that they put it at is at 120,000, but we know when they do numbers, when they document numbers, they always make the numbers much lower than what it really is. So overall, at least 120,000 of our brothers and sisters died in concentration camps. But we don't hear anything about that. You have communities that was literally erased of our people. So we have Ukrainians that fled to Poland, and we have our brothers and sisters that fled to Poland, Poland. But our brothers and sisters are in a detention center in poor conditions, fearing for their life. They don't know what's going to happen to them. But at the same time, this is the very people that's crying for help, getting all kinds of help. United States has signed a bill, $5 trillion budget. And out of that $1.5 trillion budget, they already allocated almost $13 billion to the Ukraine, after already giving them $500 million, and then follow that up with like $3.5 billion. And now they, like I said, they just giving them another 13 billion. Now they sending even more resources over to them. But what about our people? What about those brothers and sisters over there? Those people from Ukraine is going to be flown here. They're going to be set up. Nice place to lay their head. Sources, resources that's going to help them maintain the best educational system. They're gonna have all of that, right? They're gonna be treated much better than our people who have been kidnapped and brought to this country, born and raised in this country. They're gonna be treated far better and have far better opportunities to succeed. They're gonna be bumped to the front of the line because we're 400 years behind, but they're gonna be bumped to the front of the line. So family, yeah, this is what's happening. This is why I decided to do a quick live here. Everyone but the Negro. That's the thing. Anyone but the Negro. We'll help anybody else out. We'll help whoever needs help but the Negro. Brothers and sisters at detention centers, concentration camps, if you want to call it that, sitting inside these places not knowing what's going to happen to them. And yet we want to say that we're not the people. We're the people of the book. We're the only people that are going through this stuff. I thought Nigeria, I thought the African countries got their people from over there. But I noticed in one of the video footages, I noticed some of the guys that was in the initial video crying for help over in those detention centers. So what's going on, brothers and sisters over there in Africa? What's going on? Why do we have brothers and sisters in concentration camps over there? Why are they in detention centers over there? Why no one is talking about this? To be sent, fleeing for their life, go from Ukraine treated a certain way, now going over to Poland, further dealing with insult to injury. They could have, how come they didn't? How come they're not getting the same perks like the others? We know what it is. We know what it is. Same story, same behavior, no matter where we are around the world. Same actions, same incidents, same level of racism, same story around the world, family. Like I said, let me lean up here. That's the slap. That's the slap that we're not talking about. That's the slap that no one heard. That's the slap our community continues to ignore. That's the slap that all of us should be insulted. We should be talking about this thing. That's the slap that no one is hearing. That's why, family, I just wanted to do a brief live because it was bothering me. I didn't get a chance to upload the video this morning, but I'll upload it when I get home. I'll upload it when I get home. I'll upload it when I get home. That's why I want to say this, because I know that, when we start dealing with end time prophecy and all this other stuff, we hear about World War I and World War II and World War III, but we're dealing with Europeans. We're not dealing with our people. See, the First World War, if we want to call it the First World War, was against our people. The Transatlantic World War, not a slave trade, it was a world war, was carried out towards our people. Multiple countries came together to form an alliance to kidnap, rape, murder, take our property. That was a world war. They declared war on our brothers and sisters And that war is still going on, family. That's the world war that no one is talking about. That's the hidden war that no one is talking about. I'm not even gonna say hidden war because it's in our face, but it's dumbed down by calling it a slave trade. We're prisoners of war. We were spoils of war. That's what happens when many countries take over another country, especially when you're talking about 500, 600 years ago. Those are considered spoils of war. They forced the people that they conquered into servitude, but not like what you saw in what happened to our people. But we keep dumbing down our history by referring to the transatlantic so-called slave trade, which was actually a world war. We keep focusing on the European history, but we're not focusing on the history, our history. We're not focusing on that part of the history. Come on, family. And we got brothers and sisters, man, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, trying to jock for position for the internet. Seeing all the fights and the squabbles, man. We fighting for peanuts for internet. Internet peanuts, YouTube peanuts to be monetized so that way you can have a super chat and get. Nah, family, come on, family. What's wrong with our people? And we got this going on. Where are the entertainers that's supporting Will Smith? Where are the entertainers that's supporting Chris Rock? Where are the entertainers that's supporting Jada Pinkett Smith? Where are the news outlets that's covering these guys? Where are they? Where? Got brothers and sisters covering this right here, going in, covering that stuff, going in. But they won't go in on this. They can tell you every detail about these people's relationships, but ignore the details of what's going on right now. Can't tell you the details about who they are. Come on, family. Don't get me wrong. I report certain things. Like I talked about it too, but not from a perspective to gossip. To talk from it, to speak on it from a perspective of, man, how can we learn from this thing as a people? How can we talk to our brothers and sisters about this situation that we see with them? Even last night, many of you, I had to address our brothers and sisters using that situation to down our women. Certain things some of the women are struggling with. Come on, family. I don't have a problem with talking about situations. I don't have a problem with talking about situations. But they're televising our demise. They make sure that we're being televised. They're making sure that even when we think about, and I'm just going to touch on it real quick, the Chris Rock thing. You think that Chris Rock just made up that joke on the fly? You think that Chris Rock, the writers who wrote it, because most comedians don't write their joke. Most of them don't write their jokes. They have a group of people that do it. You think that wasn't already written to go after another man's wife? But we're talking about that, family. But what about this? Where's the algorithms for this? See, if I would have put Will Smith name in here as a tag, if I put Chris Rock name here as a tag, if I put Jada Pinkett name here as a tag, if I put Slapgate here as a tag, guess what? They'll put it inside that algorithm and we'll have people popping up on here, trolls. If I put other tags in here, popular tags out in here. Guess what? The algorithms will have people coming in here just to know the business, to further push gossip. Family, they could call it algorithms, whatever you want to call it. It's programming regardless. Conditional statements. There are conditional statements that are assigned to our people to make sure that we fall into certain conditions when we on certain situations, and promote us going back and forth with each other based upon what we put inside our YouTube channels, what we post on social media. We can call it algorithms. That's another glorified term. Most really don't even understand how algorithms work. I'm a programmer. A series of conditional statements, coding. A series of conditional statements that say, hey, if you put this inside this browser, if you put this inside your search engine, guess what? Then it's going to go into this pool, and then guess what? We're going to put some conditional statements to make sure that when it's all said and done, we're going to make sure when it comes to our community, we're going to always be connected to nonsense and foolishness. We're going to always be connected to strife. We're going to always be connected to backbiting among each other. Some of you guys that have awakened, right? Have you noticed when you posted your information on Facebook, and all of a sudden you start being connected to people that say that they are awakening, but guess what? They are all out in left field. They all argumentative. They all want to just fight and everything. Have you noticed that? Because it's already programmed for us to always be connected to controversy, internal conflict within each other. It's all programmed. Call it algorithms. No, it's conditional statements. That's all algorithms are. It's a series of conditional statements designed to make sure that we stay in a certain predicament. That's all algorithms is. It's a glorified term by saying conditional statements. In programming, that's what you have, conditional statements based off of if, then, else. If equates to true, else equates to false. And then when you put that end, that's end of what? That particular block of coding. So now what did they did with us? What have they done with us? They programmed us with a series of conditions, right? Which is called, which many want to call it let's call it the code, the programming of the institution of race. So they programmed us with what? A social identity. So now anytime we go into certain areas, a conditional statement kicks in. If they are trying to grasp this information, reveal this information to them. If they're not trying to grasp this information, release this information to them. If they're trying to wake up and understand the system, guess what? Give this information to them. Let's put them in front of other people that are trying to attack who they are. Come on, family, it's all scripted. Scripted. Notice what I said. You guys keep talking about, many of you guys talk about Hollywood being scripted, right? Guess what? No, it's all pre-programmed. When I say pre-programmed, there are conditional statements there. Guess what? It was already a program in place for the whole situation with Chris Rock and Will Smith. They pre-programmed conditional statements that here's the if Will Smith is there with Jada Pinkett, then say this joke, else don't. That's a conditional statement. If Jada Pinkett was not there and Will Smith was only there, that joke would not have been said. So conditional statement. We're going to put it in the teleprompt. All right, Chris Rock, if you see them inside the audience, then you use this joke. If not, don't use the joke. Come on, family. So now our people are dealing with conditions over in Poland. Jumped out of the frying pan, fleeing to this area that where a lot of Ukrainians fled to, but they got taken care of. They are getting taken care of, while our brothers and sisters are sitting in detention centers, which is nothing more than a glorified term for saying concentration camps. Sitting in camps right now, fearing for their life. Come on, family. Come on, family. Come on, family. Come on, family. Man. Probably here it's raining out here trying to stall because I got to get out this car. But come on, family. We got, and we're majoring in minors. We're majoring in the minors. So we so busy pumping ourselves up because we can debunk what you believe, so that way now we can take away your faith. We'll make you into, our people would rather argue trying to make each other become a faithless people, so that way now that makes us what? Vulnerable to the enemy, to the oppressors. We good at attacking each other's faith, so that way we can make each other vulnerable, make our entire community vulnerable to any attack. We have no fight in us. What is faith? The average Christian can't tell you what faith is. Guess what? Truth be told, the average Israelite can, that have awakened to their identity, that came out of Christianity, cannot tell you what faith is. What is faith? What is trust? What is belief? Each one of those words come from the Hebrew word aman. Aman means consistent. It means permanent. It transliterates to faith. It transliterates to trust. It transliterates to belief. All those words are synonymous of each other, but the key is consistency. And we've been so busy trying to fight each other to keep our community from being consistent and trying to come together and move forward. But we're consistently causing strife among each other, causing division among each other, causing division among the brethren, causing division among the women, causing division. We're so busy trying to have platforms so that way we can keep each other from being consistent and doing what we need to do. But we're consistent of being ignorant to what we need to do. We're consistent of being ignorant to what's going on right now, what I just shared with you. We are consistent at being inconsistent. Family, I'm upset right now. Y'all probably can hear it in my voice. Because those kids, some of those kids could be our kids. That could be my child. My daughter was literally, I just had a talk with my daughter. She's a freshman in school, and she just talked to me a couple of months ago before the Ukraine thing popped off and said, Dad, I'm thinking about going doing international studies. She was thinking about Hungarian, she was thinking about Romania, and she was thinking about that area, that territory. And I had to say to her, I said, daughter, let me make this clear. It's more to going to these international countries than what you think. I said, anything could pop off. I said, you could be in a position that if something happened, I can't get to you. I know you want to do international studies, but no, stay here. And then what happened? Less than a month later, the thing happened to Ukraine, and I'm talking to my daughter saying, see, this is what I told you. See, I've been all around this world. I can tell you a lot of ins and outs, but I can't. Right? That's a whole nother discussion. But I've been in the military. I've been around this world. I've been in a lot of places. But that could be my daughter over there, sitting in one of those detention centers. That could be your daughter over there, your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your cousin over there in a detention center, fearing for their life, with the countries not even caring about their state, caring about their well-being. Come on, family. If my daughter was sitting right next to me, she would tell you I had just told her, just convinced her to leave that thought alone about going over there for international studies in that region. I told her, I said, hey, Mia, I said, sisters are disappearing over there. Women are disappearing over there. All kinds of things that are going on. You are targeted once you go over to those type of places, especially if you're not on a base. You're targeted. They can have all kinds of access to you if you're not on a base. Even though you can still have certain things happen to you once you come off the base, but I had to explain that to her. Family. Anyway, look it up. Look out for the video I'm going to upload again. To the non-Ukrainians, right? Our brothers and sisters, the non-Ukrainians who fled Ukraine are now in Poland fearing for their lives, living and dwelling right now on a concentration camp in a detention center. Wake up, family. Wake up. So with that being said, family, I appreciate your love and support, helping this channel grow. But let's push this narrative. Let's share this video. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel if you're not part of this channel. But share this video with your loved ones. Share this video, family. Get the word out. We need to start talking about this. With that being said, have a blessed remaining of the day, and we'll connect later. Shalom.